Welcome to stage 18 of the Tour de France, the final mountain stage of this edition of the race. 6 breakaways attacked from the gun. They're about to get caught by the main field. It was Rodolfo Lucci, Jeff Cooper, Dennis Nsinkamana, Mario Matsuoda, Sadek Frokmanesh, and Harold Skavko. A really strong group for a stage like this, but VeloTour has been chasing them all day. See the team with the white and red jerseys there, keeping this breakaway under control. So they must be trying to get Chung Lingshen a stage win and to move him up in the general classification. Lingshen is in 5th place overall, but he's less than 2 minutes behind Rico Rudiger, who's up in 3rd place. So it seems he's trying to get himself a top 3 finish in the Tour de France. There'll be a lot of points scored for VeloTour. That would keep them in contention for a top 3 place at the end of the season. So VeloTour will throw everything at this stage, see what they can get out of it. Euskaltel, content to just watch for now. We'll see when they decide to take control of affairs. And Kyoto, not interested at all in doing any of the pacemaking or any of the attacking. I think at this point, they're just trying to consolidate the 2nd place position of Hippolyte Toutain. If the time trial were right now, Toutain probably would not be able to overcome that 1 minute 41 seconds deficit to Caillou, although it could be pretty close. But I think Caillou is likely to gain more time on the mountaintop finish. So the plan for Kyoto seems to just secure their 2nd place, see if Toutain can win that final time trial, and close out the VeloTour season, because at this point, they're on the verge of victory. And really, there's a bit of a fight going on for 2nd place, because with the way Euskaltel Euskadi has ridden this Tour de France, I would not be shocked if they were approaching that 2nd place of AlphaTauri. And that would be a big shock, because I don't think anyone expected anyone other than AlphaTauri to finish 2nd this season. But Euskaltel have shot up the leaderboard ever since the Giro d'Italia. We're still 4Ks to the top of the Tourmalet here, the penultimate climb of the stage. One of the toughest mountains in the Tour de France this year. A very famous climb. And it's rated S4 category, which means outside category in France, so it's above category 1 in terms of the points for the King of the Mountains. The winner is going to get 20 points. It seems the wearer of the King of the Mountains jersey, Lars Evensen, is not in this group. He started the day 9 points ahead of Jean-Marie Caillou, but he should lose that to somebody. Could be Caillou, could be somebody else. But a lot of points on offer, and Evensen's not going to get any of them. So the Swedish rider on the Sismic team is suffering after 2 long days in the breakaway. But he won this stage yesterday, so I don't think he cares too much about that jersey. Stage wins, usually more important than the secondary jerseys for a lot of riders, because it always feels the best to cross the finish line first on any given day. Rodriguez will take the race to the top of the Tourmalet. It seems most of the VeloTour riders have gone away. So they've done their turn of pacemaking, they've done their best to hurt the other teams, and it's up to Chung Lingshen to finish the job. They'll have a long descent to recuperate and think about their plans for the final climb. Then it's a big battle over this 15-kilometer mountain to Les Ardidons. Famous climb that's been used fairly often since its introduction in the 1980s. Famously, there was a stage where Miguel Indurain, before he was known as a 5-time Tour de France winner, he won the climb to Les Ardidons from a breakaway. He beat Greg LeMond, who won that year's Tour de France, and that's when people really started to take notice of the young Spaniard. The next year, in 1991, Indurain would win the Tour de France for the first time. Then he'd win it 4 more times after that, all consecutively. And famously, Indurain never won a mountain stage in any of the 5 Tours de France that he won. He won many time trials, but the 2 mountain stages he won were from the years before he started winning the Tour. So people criticized him for being too passive. I have to disagree with that. He simply did what he knew he could do to win the race. Certainly more entertaining than someone like Hippolyte Toutain, believe it or not, although those riders are fairly similar in terms of their profiles. But the peloton continues to make their way down the descent. We're approaching the valley of Louis Saint-Sever, and then we're pretty much straight onto the final climb. No flat road really to organize anything. I think this is Udebaya of Natalia, VeloTour of VeloTour, these riders leading the peloton onto the final mountain. It's up to the team leaders now to make all this hard work count. 15 kilometers, 7%, the final big mountain of the Tour de France, and VeloTour in control as we start the climb. Caillou, the yellow jersey, he leads Teuton by a minute 41 seconds. The big battle for the final third place position on the podium. We'll see if Luis Sancho can go for a stage win here. Carlos Nello as well must be itching to try, but it's VeloTour so far. He's gonna ride as hard as he can, see what he can do for his leader Chongling Shen. A number of riders still here for Kyoto, surrounding Hippolyte Teuton. Natalia still have some numbers. They should have Udebaya, Pinto, Lucci, and more in this group. But no attacks just yet. Yevgeny Volashkov now comes forward, so they're going to go for the stage win with Luis Sancho. AlphaTauri trying to salvage a disappointing Tour de France. They came close yesterday. Luis Sancho just inches away from the stage win after attacking, bridging up to the breakaway, and just getting beat after Evanson attacked on that final climb. Unfortunately, Sancho stuck in a seismic sandwich on that stage, not much he could do until the very end. Try again today. 9 kilometers to climb, this is Nicholas Vollenveder. So Carlos Nello also going to go for a stage win from Seismic. All the big climbers want to win here. It's the dream of every great climber to win a Grand Tour stage on a mountaintop finish. Especially when you attack from the big peloton, proving you are the strongest. And here's the first attack, it's Kelvin Moore. He really suffered on that stage to Arcolis on stage 16, down to 6th place, but he's going to try and make amends now. He's gone with Carlos Nello and Manuel Navarro. We'll see what the chase down is like, but Carlos Nello is really going for it. He's doing a lot at this attack, but Wilmar Rodriguez of Euskaltel, peerless climbing domestique, is going to slowly nail them all back. One by one, the other riders are getting dropped. This field looking a bit small, just under 6Ks to go. Nello is still at large, and Manuel Navarro will try and join him. There's the 5Ks to go banner. Navarro has reached Carlos Nello. He'll try and go over the top, but now Rico Rudiger takes over the chasing. Rodriguez looks like he's going to crack. He's worked hard in this Tour de France, his job is done for now. Rudiger has caught the chasers, we're getting another attack with 4Ks to go. This is Ilyana Pavlova. Caillou is going to try a counter-attack. Nello trying to get on terms as well. Lingchen has started the chase, but Pavlova has put in a good effort here. She's got a small gap. Caillou just trying to grapple up towards her wheel. He's going to go for another stage win here. But Pavlova's not giving up. She's had a tough time hanging with the top climbers. We expected a little more from Pavlova this season, especially in the Grand Tours, but this is her best effort so far. In contention for the stage win, we're approaching the Flamme Rouge. It's Pavlova, Nello, and Jean-Marie Caillou. You might get a sprint à trois for the stage win here. Caillou looking fresh at the back of this group. Pavlova's going to open it up. She's throwing everything at the sprint, Caillou following in her wheel. But Caillou, he doesn't have the strength to get around Pavlova. Her first great day in the mountains, and what a day to do it. She claims a stage win, she beats all the best climbers in the world, and finally on the final mountain, Pavlova gets her first win of this season. Caillou will take 2nd place, he gains time once again on all of his biggest rivals. He should reclaim the lead in the King of the Mountains jersey as well. Carlos Nello, how many times will he finish in the top 3 of a stage in this Tour de France? He's done it so many times, but still hasn't won it yet. Kelvin Moore in 4th place. That's his best day in the Pyrenees so far, so he should be pleased with that. See if he moves up on GC. Lingchen was 5th. The rest of the Tour de France, once again losing minutes to Jean-Marie Caillou. But this time, somebody finally beat him to the top of a mountain. Pavlova seemed to have an extra pair of wings today. Really surprising effort by the Bulgarian climber, but she's really gone out and made a strong impression. So that was a big battle on the final climb. All the best climbers wanted to win. And in the end, a bit of a surprise result, but a welcome one for the Doimo team. The winner was Ilyana Pavlova of Doimo, claims her first victory in the VeloTour, 6 seconds ahead of Jean-Marie Caillou, the yellow jersey. Carlos Nello 3rd place at 24 seconds, then Kelvin Moore in 4th at 36 seconds. So Moore really strong effort to only lose 36 seconds. Lang Shin was 5th in the same time. Hippolyte Toutain losing another minute and 30 seconds. So at this point, he's definitely too far away to win the Tour de France. Rico Rudiger down in 9th place, he lost 2 minutes 18 seconds, so he's continuing to slip down the leaderboard a little bit after such a strong start to the Tour de France. But that's understandable. Rudiger's done a lot of work for Jean-Marie Caillou, and the 3rd Euskaltel rider Wilmer Rodriguez in 10th place. So after that big mountain stage, the GC looking a little bit different once again. Caillou extending his lead over almost everyone in the Tour de France. He now leads Hippolyte Toutain by 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Navarro up to 3rd place at 4 minutes 37, Lang Shin up to 4th at 4 minutes 48, Rudiger down to 5th at 4 minutes 56. Navarro, Lang Shin, and Rudiger separated by just 20 seconds, so that'll go down to the final time trial to see who gets that coveted 3rd place position. Kelvin Moore still 6th place, Ilyana Pavlova up 3 spots into 7th, some of the other climbers in the lower reaches up top 10. No change in the points classification. I think Itetsu might have scored a couple of points in an early sprint, but nothing to really close the gap. And in the mountains classification, Jean-Marie Caillou reclaims the lead by 6 points ahead of Lars Evensen. Chung Lang Shin up to 3rd place, 47 points, and Vollenbeeter and Nello. In the team classification, Euskaltel Euskadi have extended once again. So the Pyrenees have concluded. No more big mountains for the climbers to really make a difference, but tomorrow's stage is a bit tricky. A hilly stage in the French Basque Country, a couple of sharp climbs towards the end, so we could see some action despite the lack of huge climbs. From there, there's the final time trial, and then the final sprint in the Paris on the Champs-Élysées, so we're really in the final chapter of this Tour de France. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time for Stage 19.